さて、お着替えをして宮殿に戻ってきたわけですけど、シアンナとおしゃべりしよう。開けてくれ。ここじゃないの？下？ここかと思った。下から入れるのかな？任意だけど、とりあえずシアンナの話も一応聞いておきたい。ここか？ここからは上なのか。また遊戯室なのか。ここ遊戯室だっけ？ここか？ここは多分二度と入れないところだから、いろいろ探索してみよう。あら、美味しそう。焦げたパンもあるの？宮廷なのに。焦げたパンは捨てといていいでしょ。こっちは入れない。ここはどういうところなんだろう。よっせ。
Hold.
Need to see Sienna urgently.
In the matter of?
彼女に話がある。それだけのこ
Want
と
to
だ。
talk to her. It's important.
Want to talk? Go see your gran at tea time. Not one locked up on the Duchess's orders. No doing without special permission.
アクシー。
Found some information important to her case. Need an explanation urgently.
Ah, fine then. You're that witcher who solved the murders, no? Then you've my permission, but only for a few minutes.
わかった。
Promise to be brief.
アイテムも取る。他にはないな。ウィッチャーの感覚を研ぎ澄ませながら進むからな。
The witcher will speak with the inmate. You can take a momentary break.
As long as it's truly but a moment. Highly irregular, this.
Have you come to see how I
なんかお
fare?
る。
I'm fine, thank you. Artorius' ribbon worked wonders. It's a shame they took it from me.
I
for-
know who the fifth victim was supposed to be.
没収っていうか、
Goodness, you're
あの場所に
simply
置いたまま来た
repulsive
よ。
snoop. I'm in prison. Detlef is dead. Could you not just drop it?
でもまあ諦めるやつじゃ
Stop
ないだろう。
pretending you couldn't care less. I know it's an act, and it's really starting to wear. Why'd you want to kill her?
For such an accomplished investigator to ask about the obvious? Come now, Geralt. Why do you think?
黒太陽、それは違う。妬みも違う。これだよね。彼女がお前に背を向け、お前のことを忘れたからだ。100のおとぎ話の、1000のおとぎ話の国で言ってたもんね。これでしょ？
Because she turned her back on you, then banished all memory of you?
忘れてないよ。
Bravo, Geralt. Yet another riddle solved, and your sick curiosity sated.
忘れてないよ。
Well, what now? Off to share your discovery with Anna Henrietta? Oh, she's no longer in danger, true. But she very well might add a little something to your reward.
Definitely gonna tell her. Not necessarily for the coin, though.
Then why do it at all?
She ought to know. If only 'cause you'll probably try to kill her again if she ever lets you out.
I probably will.
ああ、やっと正直に言ったな。なんか忘れられたことが悲しいってことはさ、やっぱりシアンナもアンナが好きなんだよね。アンナはシアンナが大好きだけど、許そうと思ったことはないのかな。というか、許せないのは愛してるせいだからね。愛してるから許そうってなったことはないのかな。
Perhaps, just for a second, you could stop dwelling on all the wrongs folk have done you and forgive her.
Why should I?
For old time's sake. You loved each other once.
Please. I don't know who fed you that rubbish, but
Read your governess's diary.
あ、読んだ読ん
You
だ。
played together, were inseparable. Henriette'd get you into trouble sometimes, sure, but there were also times she stood up for you. When you had nightmares, only she could calm you. Time eats away at memories, distorts them. Sometimes we only remember the good, sometimes only the bad.
悲しいことに。
If she loved me so, why did she wash her hands off me? Forget me? Hmm?
彼女は幼かったんだよ。
Sienna, you were exiled when she was how old? 12? 13? She was a child. What was she supposed to do? Rebel? Organize a coup? Steal your father's seal and forge a pardon? She was powerless. Wiped you from her memory not because she didn't care, but because your departure was traumatic for her. She forgot because that was the only way she could handle the pain.
小さい妹だったんだよ。小さいアンナ。
Ugh. You really want a happy ending, don't you?
そういうわけじゃないけど。
Ah, with all of us living happily ever after. Go, Witcher, or they'll give your medal to another. And that would be a shame.
Farewell, Sienna.
バイバイ。どうするのかな、シアンナは。
Commander de la Tour would like to see you. Shall we go at once?
ああ、行くよ。
Let's go. Want to see him too.
しばらく後。バラ園で会うことになった。
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
ほっぺた大丈夫か？ひどい傷を負ったな。
Your face doesn't look good. Though it looked even worse last I saw you.
ひでえこと言ってる。
I apply a balm of arnica. Yeah, I hardly
アル
feel
ナイ
it
カの
anymore.
難攻？5人目の犠牲者だが誰になるはずだったか分かった。
Got some important information. Anna Henrietta was supposed to be Detloff and Sienna's fifth victim.
You are certain of this?
Completely. Found proof.
一応知らせとかなきゃな。
How could she? The murders, the mayhem she brought down on the city, were they not enough? She sought to strike down her own sister, her liege. Traitor. I must alert my men. Enlarge the Duchess's honor guard. Make certain Sylvia Anna is closely watched during the questioning. I'll see to
シ
it
ルビア・ア
personally.
ンナって言うんだ。
I thank you, Witcher, for alerting me, and I appreciate your attentiveness.
アンナ・ヘンリエッタがアナリエッタのように、
Come with me. The
シ
Duchess
ルビア・
awaits.
アンナはシアンナなわけか。勲章を授
In
か
the
るぞ。
guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it
パ
will
ル
be
の
the
話
end of
か。
us.
You lost them all in the fire. These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart.
髪型
Now, we
Ja,
shall
pa, dasai na.
award the Order of
Geralt.
Vitis Vinifera, Tucson's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, Slayer of the Beast of Beauclair, step forth.
なんでごそごそ自分の
We
体を探ってん
bestow
だ
the
よ。
distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire.
ラストアクションヒーロー、こんな
May
ところ
this
でトロ
symbol
フィーを出す
serve
の。
as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than a dozen barrels of
5000クラウン。
Sangria, a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The
12タル。
gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
悪い知らせがありますって言わなきゃいけないの。悪い知らせがあります。
I am, and truly grateful, Your Grace. Sadly, I'm afraid I have to sour the mood. It's Sienna. She plotted to have you killed, Duchess. Planned to use Dettlaff. You were to be the beast's fifth victim.
This cannot be true. You're mistaken. You must be.
I have proof.
5000クラウンを取り上げないでね。必ず知らせるってゲラルトが言ってたから。
I do not believe it.
そう。でもダミエンは信じたから、君のことを守ってくれるよ。
In a moment I shall speak to Sienna. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet what you tell me now I find devastating. I've come to doubt that I can judge her fairly.
公正な裁きは無理だ
I'd
と思
far prefer to learn you're mistaken, Geralt.
う。ない。
I'm not. In fact, I'd recommend you be particularly careful around her.
You exaggerate, Witcher. She is my sister. I know well how to speak to her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
このいたけだかな感じ。
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
シアンナなんかするかな。不安そうだ。その後ろに手を腰の後ろに回すのってなんかの
The Witcher
ポーズ
will
なの
take
か。
part in our talk.
公爵の頼みでここにいるんすよ。
The Duchess requested I be present.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister. And my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common
いや
criminal.
公正じゃないじゃん。しょっ
Nor
ぱな
does
か
it
ら。
let me believe you
公正じゃない。
sought my demise. My heart yearns to know you were swayed by the monster Dettlaff. You yourself would never stoop so low. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me. As one impartial, I shall now hear what he has to say.
シアンナは恐ろしい罪を、心に傷を負った理由はまあ確かにありはしたけどね。追放される時になんていうの、清廉だと信じていた騎士に虐待されたっていうのが一番最初に心をねじ曲げてしまって、その後全てのことをねじ曲げて、こう公爵領に関することをねねじ曲げて考えるようになってしまったっていうのはある。
Bitterness consumes Sienna. She had cause to resent many of the court of Beauclair. I know her reasons, understand them even. But I can't condone the actions she chose to take.
What is he talking about, Sienna?
You know exactly what. I was forcibly exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew well the throne would then be yours.
まだ子供だったんだ
I
よ
was the elder.
アナリエッタは。
The ministers I can understand. They'd hated me since I was a child. Thought me a poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents. I'd always sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you... Your dagger hurt most. You were my Honorietta, damn it. My darling little
すごい
sister.
ドロドロの愛憎だ。
Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
そしてお前もアナリエッタを裏切ったじゃないか。
Claim to understand them all? Why'd you come back for revenge? Have them all cut down then?
They deserved my vengeance. They detested me, all of them, as long as I can remember. But Honorietta understood me. Once. She was all I could cling to. Her betrayal hurt the most.
愛しすぎだろ。フラミンゴなのシアンナって。愛してたから裏切りが辛いからぶち殺すみたいな。ドフラミンゴとロシなんてなの。二人とも子供だったんだろ。
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day
Dear
they banished
sister.
me from the palace. Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark, and which you set afire at the last to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
すごい幼稚なこと言ってるぞシアンナ。
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
魚の浮き袋の話？
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out, but you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you, sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found.
隠れてたんだもんなシアンナ。
Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you.
こんな可愛
I'm
らし
sorry,
い
dear sister. Can you
こんな
forgive
可愛
me?
らしい姉妹喧嘩があんな血みどろになることある？脇腹をついたな今。後ろでなんか空気読まずに歩いてる赤いドレスの女何だったんだ今。めっちゃ歩いてる。いや美しい場面だけど人が死んでんねんでっていう感じもするな。人が死んでんねんで。でも街はさもう復活してんだよ。早くね。しばらくは
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony? It was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
おう服を着替えてる。
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips.
レジスには辛い旅だったな。
How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diabolus variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavor profile
マンドラ
and
ゴラが
display a
上質なの。
remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
いいぞ、行こ
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
う。なるほ
Thanks.
ど。
Right then, let's go.
This moonlight makes
美しい月明かりだな。
so
夢見心地だ。
Penny for your thoughts.
何考えてるか当ててやろう。
Let me guess.
サキュバスの胸だ。かけてみ
Succubus
る。
twins?
かけなくていいよ。
No. I was thinking about how anything can
いい
look
違うね。
interesting.
今考えてたのは、ああ、光はあらゆるものを美しく見せる
Even
とい
an
うこ
old
とだ。
necrophage corpse?
グールの死骸でも
Not
か。
an ounce
お
of
前には
refinement
情緒というものがかけらほどもないのか。なんか面白い顔になったな。ガスマスクみたいだ。よーレジス。マンドラゴルの根っこ2個でいいの。あまりにも少なすぎん。これはただのキノコだ。あ、これか。取るぞ。新鮮なマンドラゴラのね。ここのマンドラゴラはさ、キャーって叫ばないのかな。あとこれか。取ったよ。レジス、お前もちゃんと取ってるか。
Now, where'd that bloodsucker go?
あのコウモリ
Won't be
男はど
easy
こ
to
に行っ
track
た。
down.
あと追うのは難しいぞ。
He's
あいつは何と言っても吸
vampire
血鬼だし
after
な
all.。
レジス、
Regis!
レジス。足跡残していったの。
Damn it, where'd you go?
クソ、どこに行ったんだ。どこ行ったんだ。
Regis!
レジス。何プルクサ。
Those Bruxae, they called you a
ブル
traitor.
クサか。
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances.
いつの間にかマスク外してる。
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
だろうね。
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink.
レジスにとって悲しいばかりだったな。デトラフは騙されてるし。
Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning. Then develops gently, rising to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours.
そうだ
By
よ
the。way, I left a gift for you at your new home. A nightstand.
ありが
Thanks.
とう。
Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens.
変異発剤
have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
まだわかんね
Don't really know yet. Might find the life of a hard-working vintner too tempting one day.
え。うん。
Or maybe I'll just stick to the path, go on roaming, staring up at the stars after laying my bedroll at the roadside.
Ah, roadsides, bedrolls, and the sky above. I sense some poetry
や
coming,
めてくれ。
which
あい
of
つと一
course
緒に
brings
する
to
のは
mind Dandelion. I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all
プレ
familiar?
イヤーの知らないことを思い出しや
How
がる。
could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair,
レ
far
ギス。
calmer than this one.
また会えるかな。
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
どうなったの？
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy though.
お前はこれからどこに行
What
く？
about you? Any idea where you'll go?
Distance is of the essence. I thought I might venture south.
コビリ？
Nilfgaard?
ニルガード？
Why ever
コ
not?
ビリは北だっけ？
The Nilfgaardians are a modern society. None there believe in vampires
ニル
anymore.
フガードは
This fact alone could be very
シ
useful
リ
to
が
one
拠点
wishing
に
to
なるから
remain
きっといい
incognito.
国になる。
Interesting point of view.
もう少しいいよ。
I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?
So we shall, my friend. We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do.
But we do. こっちみんな。このさ、これを見たいのは山々なんだけどめちゃくちゃ長いんだよ。飛ばすね、申し訳ないけど。
Actually, I'd love to go home.
さて、家に帰る。どういうこと？もうレジスはいないのか。寂しくなるね。家に帰る。プリングレープだった。コルボビアンコ。ただいま、ちゃんと冠もかぶったよ。
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who
どう
is
いう
it?
こと？
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing
あ
themselves.
ら、誰が来たの？シアンナとか？誰もいないじゃん。シ
You're
リ？
good. Come. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
え？ここで暮らせる？一緒に暮らす？
Thought I'd never see you again.
お前の絵が飾ってあるだ
I've
ろう。
departed, escaped, been forced to flee so many times. Yet I always returned.
慣れられ
You
な
ought to
い
be
よ。
used to it by now. I like coming back into your life.
I'm just glad you're here.
The house is lovely. It just needs some work.
Yeah, plan to do a lot. Want to go outside, maybe? Could show you the grounds.
礼儀を持ち合わせてそうに見えない。 次期女帝か。
Ah, it's lovely here. I could stay forever.
住めばいいじゃん。
Anything stopping you?
Obligations, duties. I'm only here because Emir concluded I must get to know what I'll rule once I take the throne.
なるほ
So
ど。
I'm on a tour of the provinces with a small swarm of advisors. Which essentially means they take turns lecturing me while I follow them about, scribbling notes.
大変だな。
Plan to stay in Beauclair a while?
A bit. I convinced my advisors we'd be unwise to depart before I tasted each of this year's wines. My knowledge would be incomplete, you see. Though, actually, just between you and me, I'm not certain I'm cut out to rule, govern, all that.
でも女帝になるって決めたんだろ。
I can't say just yet, but I'm not willing to rule it out.
そうなの？なるって決めたんじゃないの？これは今どこで何してるの？
How fares your venerable father?
He seems younger, quite rejuvenated. Abandoning high-level politics seems to have done it.
元気になったのかい？
It's as if the very awareness of peace grants him strength, which most likely is the case.
Think he'll keep his word?
I think that depends on me. If he feels I'm up to the task, he'll head out to pasture. Yes.
なるほど。
And if he doesn't?
Then there'll be nothing to stop him from returning. He hasn't ever had a problem changing his mind.
戴冠式はいつ？
Preparations for the coronation coming along?
Not at all. I told him I'm in no hurry. I must see what the whole thing's about first. Acquaint myself with the Empire's institutions, laws, and so forth.
No pressure from Emir to speed things along?
He tried. But I told him I wish to be a good ruler, a
あ
strong
ら
ruler,
まあ、
not
強
some
いこと。
puppet.
No one else in the world he'd give in to like that.
I had nothing to do with that. There's just no one else in the world who's his daughter. Speaking of which, as the future Empress, I could secure you a comfortable position as court witcher.
Thanks, but just not my thing, that. My place is on the path.
I know. Still, had to try.
なるほど。しばらくここにいてくれるの？
See you later, Siri.
Take care of yourself.
ここにいてくれるの？
Geralt?
それしか言わねえ。しばらくここにシリがあれでお別れになったかと思ったら帰ってきたんだよね。しばらくの間とはいえ。この家にしばらく住んでくれるのかな。あの位置がすげえうるせえ。あの位置が固定になるのかな。何この荷物？シリの荷物？ん？シリの荷物かな。なんか箱が増えてる気がする。羊には話しとこう。バーバナスバジル。
Sir, we received a shipment of wine from the Belgard vineyard, I believe, with
Ah,
kind
so that,
regards from Madame Matilda and Monsieur Liam. I had the barrels unloaded and stored in the cellar to the right of the entrance.
Thanks. Take a look when I have a moment.
Splendid. I was told to expect a subsequent delivery 5 days hence.
失礼するぜ。シリについては話できない。
Gotta get back to my business now. See you soon.
っていうか、公爵からもらったワインは？
How might I be of service, sir?
あ、書き消されちゃったのか。この話を
Thanks. Gotta get back to my business now.
早く聞いとけばよ
See
か
you
った
soon.
な。あと、ナイトテーブル。ナイトテーブルはここか。レジスからの手紙だ。ゲラルトへ、お前がこの手紙、噛んだ。ゲラルトへ、お前がこの手紙を読んでいる頃、私はすでにツサンを出て遠い土地にいることだろう。 そしてお前は私の変誘発剤抽出器を発見したというわけだな。あ、これか。もちろんこの装置には好みに合わせたり機能をより反映した構造にするために自由に改良を加えてくれていい。変誘発剤に関しては間違いなくお前の方がずっと深く広い知識を持っているはずだからな。今まで空いた時間を使ってこの装置の開発に取り組んできたが、ついに完成にこぎつけた今、自信を持って、それも発明品がまだ本来の目的で使われていない段階で、発明者が持ち得る最大限の自信で、この装置が役に立つと確信している。きっとこの装置がどんな目的に役に立つのか、考えあぐねていることだろう。変誘発剤抽出器はその名の通り、変誘発剤を作り出す装置だ。電磁魔力波のエネルギーをお前が倒した怪物や悪党の死体から吸収することで機能する。十分な量のエネルギーを吸収し、臨界量に達したところで、変誘発剤抽出器は溜まったエネルギーを強力な変誘発剤の形態で生成し始める。その生成物こそ必ずお前の役に立つと私が信じて疑わないものだ。当然理解していると思うが、私は機械に関しては素人だ。故に抽出作業を細かく調整することはできない。つまりどの変誘発剤が生成されるかは運次第というわけだ。緑、赤、青のどれが出るかは確率だけが決める。確率に関してはどの色が出る確率が比較的高いかを書き記しておいた。きっとお前が私からのこの贈り物を役立ててくれると信じている。親愛なる友、エミエル・レジス、ロヘレック・タルジエフ・ゴドフロア。追伸、もし私がなぜ変誘発剤抽出器を直接手渡さずお前の自宅に置いていったのか不思議に思っているなら、それは慎み深さゆえだということにしておいてくれ。信じるか信じないかは自由だ。元気でな、ゲラルト。贈り物が役立つよう祈っている。レジス、寂しいよ。変誘発剤抽出器。これはクエストアイテムとかになるのか？食料じゃないよな。これか。うわぁ。何これ3000。こんなのウィッチャーにしか役に立たないのになんで3000も。わかんねえ。とりあえず、トゥサンデのメインクエストはこれでおしまい。あとは細々としたね、クエストが一つだけうるせえ残ってるんだけど、とりあえず姉妹を仲直りさせたわけだけど、それは良かったのか悪かったのか。だってね、明らかにシアンナがもう大虐殺を引き起こしたわけだから、デトラフが死んだからそれでシアンナは無罪放免ってわけにはいかないと思いますけどね。どうなんですかね。